Imagine, if you will, a Christmas Eve where Santa Claus finds himself in a bit of a pickle. As the last golden rays of the sun sink beneath the horizon, a blanket of darkness gently falls over the world. It's a quiet Christmas Eve. The air is crisp and cool, carrying the scent of pine and holiday cheer. The homes, nestled in a blanket of fresh snow, are warmly lit from within, creating a picturesque winter wonderland. In one such home, nestled comfortably amidst a cluster of snow-dusted pines, something unusual is stirring. High above, a jolly figure in a bright red suit is pacing around the roof, scratching his beard in puzzlement. Yes, my friends, it's Santa Claus himself, and he's got a problem. You see, the chimney, the very portal through which Santa has always made his grand entrance, seems to have shrunk. Or perhaps, just perhaps, it's Santa's belly, filled with mince pies and mugs of hot cocoa, that's grown a tad too round this year. The sound of Santa's hearty chuckles echo in the night as he contemplates his predicament. His eyes twinkle with merriment as he pats his belly, acknowledging the price of his holiday indulgences. But this isn't just about him, oh no. It's about the magic of Christmas, about the presents waiting to be delivered, about the children who've been extra good this year. And so, Santa tries, time and time again, to wiggle and squeeze, to shimmy and shoehorn his way down the chimney. But alas, it's no use. He's stuck, not in the chimney, but on the roof, his rosy cheeks now matching the bright red of his suit from all the exertion. With a sigh, he steps back, taking a moment to think. He looks at the bag of presents, then at the stubborn chimney, a twinkle of determination in his eyes. Christmas, after all, is a time for miracles, and Santa, well, he's in the business of making those miracles happen. And so, on this frosty evening, Santa Claus finds himself locked out in the cold, unable to deliver his gifts. Just as Santa was about to give up, he heard the innocent laughter of two children from inside the house. The sweet mirth echoed through the cold winter night, a beacon of joy and anticipation in the silent, frosty world. Let's take a moment to meet these two young souls. Becky, a charming little girl with a heart full of dreams and a spirit as bright as a Christmas star. And then there's Mark, a curious young lad, his imagination as wild and boundless as the snowy plains outside their cozy home. As the snowflakes danced outside their window, Becky and Mark sat by the warm fireplace, their eyes sparkling with excitement. Christmas was a magical time for them, a time when dreams came to life and miracles were just a wish away. They spoke in hushed whispers, their words blending with the crackling fire, weaving tales of the gifts they hoped Santa would bring. Becky wished for a dollhouse, a miniature world where she could play out her fantasies. Mark, on the other hand, hoped for a telescope. For him, the sky was not the limit, it was just the beginning. Their chatter filled the room, a symphony of innocent desires and youthful enthusiasm. Outside, the world was cloaked in a blanket of white, the snowflakes falling silently, each one a unique masterpiece. The night was calm, serene, the world seemingly holding its breath, waiting for the magic of Christmas to unfold. And then, there it was. A knock on the door. The sound echoed in the stillness, jolting the children from their animated conversation. Their eyes widened, their hearts pounding with a mix of surprise and anticipation. Who could it be? A visitor on Christmas Eve? The clock struck midnight, the chimes resonating in the silent night. The children exchanged a glance, their eyes reflecting the flickering flames of the fireplace. A sense of wonder filled the room, the air thick with anticipation. The knock came again, louder this time, the sound seeping into the stillness of the night. Who could be knocking at this hour, the children wondered. With wide eyes and beating hearts, the children opened the door to find a surprise guest. Never in their wildest dreams had Becky and Mark imagined that they would be greeted by the jolly, rosy-cheeked figure of Santa Claus himself, standing right on their doorstep. The sight of Santa, clad in his signature red suit and white beard, brought an instant sparkle to their eyes, their mouths falling open in sheer surprise and delight. The twinkling eyes of Santa met their gaze, his hearty laughter filling the chilly Christmas air, echoing off the snow-laden rooftops. "Oh, my dear children," Santa began, his voice a warm, comforting blanket amidst the winter's cold. "I seem to have found myself in a bit of a pickle this Christmas Eve." Becky and Mark listened, their wide eyes even wider, if possible, as Santa narrated his tale. The image of Santa, the magical, larger-than-life figure they had always imagined, trying to squeeze himself down their tiny chimney, was both startling and amusing. They could barely contain their giggles as they pictured the scene, their laughter mingling with Santa's own jovial chuckles. The children's amusement, however, was tinged with a hint of worry. They thought of all the houses Santa had yet to visit, all the presents he had yet to deliver. They couldn't help but wonder, what would happen if Santa couldn't get into the other houses? Would Christmas be ruined? Seeing their concerned faces, Santa quickly reassured them. "Oh, don't worry, my little ones. I've been doing this for centuries. A small chimney won't stop Santa Claus." His words brought a relieved smile to their faces, their worries easing, yet their minds were still buzzing with the surreal experience. Santa Claus, the magical figure from their storybooks, was standing in their living room, sharing his adventures with them. It was a Christmas Eve they would never forget. "Well, Santa, you can't deliver presents if you can't get inside the house," exclaims Mark. With a twinkle in their eyes, Becky and Mark decided to become Santa's helpers for the night. An air of excitement filled the room as the pair eagerly awaited instructions from Santa himself. Their hearts pounded with anticipation, their minds buzzing with the possibilities of the adventure that lay ahead. Santa, with a jolly chuckle, handed them each a sack full of presents, their contents carefully selected for children around the world. The sacks were heavier than they looked, but the delight on the children's faces made the effort worthwhile. Into the night they ventured, the moon illuminating their path, the stars serving as their guide. Each house they visited was unique, some adorned with twinkling lights and festive decorations, others quiet and unassuming, yet still radiating the warmth of the holiday season. Becky and Mark, with Santa by their side, tiptoed into each home, careful not to wake the sleeping occupants. They took turns placing the presents under the tree, their faces lighting up with joy at the thought of the happiness they were helping to create. As they moved from house to house, they found themselves immersed in the true spirit of Christmas. It wasn't about the gifts, the decorations, or even the delicious food that awaited them at home, but the act of giving and spreading joy that truly mattered. Their journey was filled with laughter and shared secrets, their bond with Santa growing stronger with each passing moment. They learned about the importance of kindness, of generosity, and of the magic that exists within each of us if we only choose to believe. They returned home as the first light of dawn began to break, their hearts full of love and their minds brimming with memories that would last a lifetime. Exhausted but content, they knew that they had played a part in making the world a little brighter, a little happier, and a whole lot more magical. And so, with the help of two little elves, Santa was able to fulfill his duties. Their night of adventure had come to an end, but the magic of Christmas, the joy of giving, and the warmth of friendship would remain with them forever. As the night drew to a close, Santa thanked his little helpers for their kindness and spirit. He looked at Becky and Mark, their faces glowing with joy and excitement, and his heart swelled with gratitude. "Santa," said Becky, her eyes sparkling with determination, "next year we'll leave the door unlocked just in case." Mark nodded in agreement, his small hand reaching out to shake Santa's. "Why, thank you, my dear children," Santa chuckled, his voice warm and full of mirth. "That's mighty thoughtful of you." And with a twinkle in his eye, Santa turned to leave, his red coat billowing around him like a festive cloud. The children watched as he disappeared into the night, leaving behind a trail of magic and memories. As the door closed, the siblings turned to each other, their hearts full of a new understanding. They had experienced the true spirit of Christmas that night, a spirit that went beyond the twinkling lights and beautifully wrapped gifts under their tree. It wasn't about the presents, the decorations, or even the delicious cookies they had baked for Santa. No, the true spirit of Christmas was about love, kindness, and the joy of giving. It was about opening their hearts and their home to someone in need, even if that someone was Santa Claus himself. And in that moment, Becky and Mark realized that the best gifts weren't the ones wrapped in shiny paper or tied with a bow. The best gifts were the ones that couldn't be seen or touched. They were the gifts of love, of kindness, of joy and laughter. They were the gifts that they had given to Santa that night, and the gifts that he had given them in return. And so, on this magical Christmas Eve, Becky and Mark learned that the best gifts are not the ones you receive, but the ones you give.